You are Locked On Giants Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Bay Area, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I am your host, Eric Triple E Engel, former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR. You may know me from that show. Not that I ever really got to talk on air much, but contributed a lot, I feel like, behind the scenes. And today, the Giants pitching staff completely imploded in this one, as Daulton Jefferies just never had it today out there on the bump, ultimately falling to the Padres 13-4. Jefferies lasted just 2 innings in this one, and the Giants trailed by double digits before they had a chance to scratch across their first run of this game. Never had a shot, but some positive silver linings in this one as the Giants wrap up their first series of 2024 sitting at 500. We'll break it all down, but first I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports Bay Area YouTube channel. There's been a ton of you that have subscribed in the last couple days since the start of Giant season, and we sincerely appreciate it so much. Please, if you're not already following the channel, smash that subscribe button. And thanks if you're getting us on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you're getting the show, we appreciate it. And make sure you check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. Ben Kaspick does a phenomenal job breaking down all the stats and data you need. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. New customers join today, and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. Interesting game today. It started off clunky. The Giants seemed out of sorts from the beginning on this one. Tyler Fitzgerald drawing the start at shortstop over Nick Ahmed. You assume that they just want to get him some rest. And right off the bat, boots a ball. And I'm not going to pin, 9 runs that Jefferies gave up in this first 2 innings all on Tyler Fitzgerald. That would be insane. But you got a guy out there on the hill who's had a rocky career, dealt with multiple injuries, and Fitzgerald boots one at short to start. Not a good start. And then obviously that Wilmer Flores, really scary moment for Wilmer as he flipped over the railing into the Padres dugout while chasing a pop-up and foul ground and took a hard head first fall into that dugout. And Mike Krukow was pissed. Absolutely pissed, man. You could tell that he wanted to have some words for those Padres players. Krukow said exactly this on the broadcast. He said, "That's something you hate to see, and everybody standing there could have done something about it." A really scary moment where Wilmer, thank goodness, was not seriously injured. He was pulled from this game pretty early on. After that in the top of the second inning, he was pulled for Luis Matos. He did stay in the game for the rest of the bottom of the first. After that injury, you saw them checking out his hand a little bit there. But I hope that he's okay. You have some concerns probably about injuries that he could have picked up on the play. Obviously, he exits the game. He's not 100%. So rough early start in this one for the Giants. And it was kind of a weird day, woke up this morning to the Joey Bart news. Yes, I did sleep in. And so that news did wake me up this morning, but it's a bummer to see Joey Bart leave the Bay, man. I think we all had high hopes for him. The highest draft pick the Giants have had in 20, 30 years. I mean, he was expected to be a perennial all-star, a huge bat in the middle of this order, and he just never panned out. All the different injuries that he's dealt with, the different coaching regimes that he never really seemed to fit in with. Joey Bart had a rough go of it here, and he was DFA'd this morning for today's starter, Daulton Jefferies, who is a 6-foot, 182-pound right-hander from Atwater, California, sort of local-ish kid near the Merced area. Played college ball at Cal, so shout out Golden Bears. I guess he can hang his hat on being a local kid if he's playing his ball at his college ball at Cal. He had a nice 2.57 ERA in spring this year, but hadn't pitched since 2022 following his second Tommy John surgery. He was a former first-round pick by the Oakland Athletics in 2016, so Bob Melvin is very familiar with Daulton Jefferies. His career stats are a little underwhelming, but you got to attribute that to injuries. He's a big guy, nice compact delivery, and he had a ton of different pitches out there that he was working with today, through 4 or 5 different pitches, but clearly didn't really have command of any of these pitches today. He was just kind of leaving the ball over the plate a little bit low, out kind of a little bit higher than knee high, out over the plate though, slightly inside. You see him hanging, breaking balls in that same spot over and over and over today, and you kept seeing the Padres punish him for doing that. It just, the Giants never had it. They just never had it in this one. They did kind of a fun little moment there. Speaking of Tyler Fitzgerald, he got to we got position players pitching. It happens a lot in early season baseball. I feel like a lot more than it does later on in the year. And it had me thinking one thing, man. I wish this team. I'm not saying that they could have predicted this. I'm not saying the team is going to expect to trail by 12 runs at any point in a game. You shouldn't be expecting that. But how cool would it have been, man, if for some reason they were able to hold on to Panda for like this first series, and if we could have had Pablo Sandoval's exit be Pablo pitching in the bottom of the 8th in San Diego. If that was Pablo Sandoval's last moment as a Giant, how fitting would that have been? That's all I could really think about today. It was kind of a funny thought. Obviously, I'm kidding. Panda, I think, can run his course here with the Giants. I don't think any of us really wanted to see him for any reasons other than nostalgia make this team. He's obviously well past his prime. He's not getting any younger, and he's not going to be able to contribute to a World Series run or a playoff run for this team. So obviously I'm kidding here. I'm not making the case for the Giants to bring back the Panda, but it would have been kind of fun to see him out there on the hill one more time. Statistically, one of the greatest pitchers in Giants history. So would have been cool. Tyler Fitzgerald, definitely not as good on the bump as Pablo Sandoval. I mean, you saw a couple hard hit balls. He did get a double play to get out of the inning there. So do with that what you will. The bullpen really had a lot of work in this one. Going to the bullpen in the top of the 3rd inning after Jefferies couldn't make it out. He gave up 9 runs in this one. Not a good outing. Just not a good outing. And he faced Michael King, which is interesting because King for the Padres was the main piece that they got back in the Juan Soto trade. And tonight was a mixed bag from him. You see some of the things that intrigued the Padres in Michael King, the reason why they, eventually parted ways with Juan Soto. They were willing to take this guy back in exchange. I don't think you ever really want to move on from a guy like Juan Soto, but in this situation felt like the Padres had to, and it makes sense that they would want a guy like Michael King back. He has got a ton of really electric stuff out there on the hill. He supposedly has plus command, but we didn't see any of that tonight as he had a career high in walks, putting a ton of Giants base runners out there, but free base runners didn't translate into runs today for the Giants as they fell 13-4. I guess the free 90s didn't really hurt him. He only gave up 2 runs, but he exited after 4 innings, did not pick up the win because he was not in line for it. You got to pitch at least 5 innings for that. So Michael King, rough outing for him, somehow only gave up 2 runs. It was very perplexing to watch, but I think that's just a testament to how good his stuff is. I'm not looking forward to the Giants facing this guy in the future when he is on top of his command. This guy has the potential to be a really, really, really solid arm out there for the Padres for years and years and years to come. So Padres with some nice pieces, some nice showing tonight. Obviously, this lineup can rake. We know that on paper, one of the best lineups in baseball. You saw Ha-Seong Kim go yard today again. This lineup can hurt you top to bottom. And that's what they did today. And they got to the Giants early and often and kept scoring, just kept the foot on the gas pedal. Tang came in, first arm out of the pen, made his debut tonight. That was cool. We've had a lot of major league debuts for young Giants in this one and journeyman Giants in this one who have all shown that they have earned a spot on this team. And one thing about these newcomers, these guys getting their first time in the league during this opening weekend series, they all have patches on their shoulders. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but Krug and Kite been talking about it on the broadcast a little bit. These patches are pretty neat, get to hang on to that jersey, got something, a little piece of memorabilia from your time in the bigs for the rest of your life. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. again, how can you not be romantic about baseball? There are so many things like this that baseball does just so infinitely better than any other sport. And it's part of the reason why baseball, honestly, is like, I love all sports. I love all Bay Area sports, especially, but the Giants, man, like the Giants are my one true love. If I was forced, like held at gunpoint, and I got to pick one team to watch for the rest of my life, it's the Giants. For better or for worse, it's the Giants. And today, for worse, definitely. Yeah, if you're still sticking around after this one, you're a diehard just like I am. And we need to talk about some silver linings in this one because there were a few. There were a few. The Tyro bomb, another Roop sighting on the hill. It's been kind of nice watching Landon Roop get his spot and be effective out there. We got to break down some of these things on the other side. Stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. I am your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and we will be right back. Say goodbye to busted brackets because FanDuel lets you bet on every single game of the NCAA tournament. Whether you're betting on a big upset or a number one seed, it's time to go dancing on America's number one sportsbook. And right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's right, $200 to use on point spreads, money lines, maybe the Giants over for the win total, as I've been telling you guys on every single one of these shows, because you should do that. And you can even pick who's going to win it all for the NCAA tournament. UConn. We told you yesterday, UConn. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and bet on college hoops until they cut down the nets. FanDuel.com/lockedon. Are you struggling to close deals? B2B selling is tougher than ever, and that's why I want to tell you about LinkedIn Sales Navigator. LinkedIn's Sales Navigator is a sales intelligence platform that helps professionals effectively prospect and engage high-value customers, drive higher revenue, and increase sales performance. Sales Navigator helps you target the right buyers, surface key signals such as job changes or which accounts you should prioritize, and shows you hidden allies so you can find those buyers that are most likely to convert. Fueled by LinkedIn's 1 billion member platform, Sales Navigator gives you the most up-to-date first-party data enabling you to unlock conversations with the people that matter. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/lockedon. That's linkedin.com/lockedon for a free 60-day trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/lockedon and get started. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I am your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and this one not super fun for the Giants. 13-4 loss to the San Diego Padres down there in sunny Southern California, which hasn't been all that sunny actually this last weekend. A lot of rain down there in San Diego. For this series, the Giants able to get all 4 games in without any delays. I was kind of wondering if they were going to be able to do that with the various weather systems rolling through, and they were. Yesterday was a little touch and go in the beginning. But they were able to get the tarp off, get the field dry. There was some wetness on the warning track yesterday, but today, nice and dry out there at the yard. And you know, the dry footing on the mound didn't really matter for the Giants as their pitching staff obviously surrendered a lot of runs in this one. Not the most encouraging thing, but there were some bright spots today. You saw Tyro take it a low and inside pitch deep to left. Not a cheap shot. It was a nice home run from Tyro, his first of the season. And that's something that's good to see because you want to see someone like him locked in. A guy who was one of the best players. You could make the argument he was the best Giants player all around from start to finish last year. Maybe not named Logan Webb, but position player-wise, probably Tyro Estrada or Wilmer Flores is going to be the guy that you're going to hang your hat on from last season as one of the contributors that you could rely on this year. So it's good to see Tyro getting in a rhythm. It was a 2-run bomb, and it was a nice swing. It was a nice controlled, compact swing, the same consistent type of thing you expect from Tyro Estrada. And he's going to need to be able to contribute. I mean, this Giants lineup doesn't have enough superstar power, big bats that you can afford to have guys, be not living up to what their potential is. And Tyro Estrada showed you what his potential is. I mean, the former Yankee prospect, everybody in that organization really liked him when he was out there, and he, kind of sputtered and came out here to San Francisco and kind of found his footing. And his bat was always viewed as kind of the thing that needed work. His fielding when he was younger was what got him to the big leagues. And now it's almost switched. I mean, he did have a phenomenal season in the field last year at second base. But before then, you viewed him as kind of a shaky guy. You didn't really know if he was a shortstop, a second baseman, a third baseman, where to play him. And he seems to have found a nice home at second base. And he's very consistent out there for the Giants. It's nice to see him out there. One thing I would maybe like to see the Giants switch up, I don't know if I like Tyler Fitzgerald there at shortstop, man. Like, I know you can't have Nick Ahmed play every single night. And I know Marco Luciano is not ready to come up yet. Like, they need Luciano to get rolling in the minors, build some confidence, get that swing down a little bit better before they want to bring him up and expose him to major league pitching. I get that. Completely on the same page as all of these thoughts. But I don't know if I really want to see Fitzgerald at shortstop. Maybe we can find a different fielding combination with more or less the same lineup. Maybe Tyro can hold down a couple games at short. Like, yes, he has been great at second base, but maybe he'd be a little bit of an upgrade defensively at shortstop over a guy like Tyler Fitzgerald. That's just my thoughts on the thing. It's not a really big thing. Again, Tyler Fitzgerald isn't the reason the Giants gave up 13 runs in this one, or he's not even the reason that the Padres had a 6-run first inning. Couple early home runs. That, by the way, that first 3-run home run down the right field line, what a cheapy home run. Like, that ball was less than 330. I mean, the high school I went to, the fences at the high school I went to were 330. So this isn't even a home run at my high school. So come on, man. Let's stop with this nonsense. I mean, I know there's a ton of little baby ballparks throughout MLB. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Yankee Stadium, but you hate to see that, man. You hate to see that, especially knowing that Oracle is how it is. You just hate to see that little cheapy wall scraper down the right field line with the lands in that little area of Petco where the bleachers kind of like jetty out a little bit. Like, why do they even do that, man? I mean, I guess it's for some of these little cheapy home runs. So you live with it. That wouldn't have made that much of a difference if the score was 10-4 versus 13-4. I don't think that changes much in the game, but it might have changed the momentum and how this one unfolded in the beginning. So you'd like to see better defense out there. And I think we're all kind of a little jaded from the Giants being so bad defensively these last couple years that every time you see something like that, you just kind of, I know I do, I kind of just have to remind myself that this isn't here we go again. Because that's my first thought is I roll my eyes, take a deep breath, lean back in my chair. Here we go again, man. And that is not what is happening. This is not here we go again. You got Bob Melvin. You got a solid defense out there. This is a backup shortstop utility player who made an error on a Sunday on the 4th game of a series. You live with it. You can't win all 162. You'll lose some games. It's a long season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And I think that I don't think that errors are going to be the story of the San Francisco Giants in 2024. I really don't. So you live with it. You move on. You focus on the next series, which is those damn Dodgers down there in LA. I hate the Dodgers, as I'm sure all of you do too. And I despise them. I hope the Giants sweep them. Who is your least favorite Dodger? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments. My least favorite Dodger, hands down, Max Muncy. Anyone who talks that much mess about Oracle Park and saying it's just a bad place to play a baseball game, like, you are just being a troll. Like, you don't actually believe that. You are just being a troll. I hate Max Muncy, and I hate the Dodgers. And I really hope that the Giants go down there and sweep them. I really do. I really hope that they spoil that whole Shohei excitement. And it'd be fun. It'd be fun to see. Hopefully we get a Blake Snell sighting for the first time in a Giants uni down there in Los Angeles. That would be really fun, man. That's what I'm looking forward to in this next series. It'll be a 3-game series that starts tomorrow night, and we'll be coming to you live after each and every one of those games. We got a little bit more to break down from this one. On the other side, I want to talk about Landon Roop's nice outing tonight and kind of his journey to the bigs and how it's been pretty fun to watch. And I got high hopes for this guy and the rest of these young Giants pitchers that we're probably going to see a whole crop of this season. So stick with us here on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm Eric Triple E Engel, and we will be right back. Fire TV is your destination for sports. From live games to highlights to in-depth analysis, Fire TV offers amazing viewing experiences with smart TVs, as well as the Fire TV stick that you can plug directly into your existing television. It provides access to millions of movies and TV episodes, as well as free and live television. Whether it's opening weekend for baseball, we just finished it up. How about that? Or the NCAA basketball tournament, you're going to want to have a Fire TV. Fire TV recently created Fire TV channels to deliver a constant supply of the latest videos from your favorite sports brands, all for free. That includes all of us at Locked On and the Locked On Giants postcast. You can get Triple E in your living room. That's amazing. And I guess you can also tune in for the big pro leagues and college conferences as well if you're into that sort of stuff, which I'm sure you are. But Fire TV channels let you dive into all of the game analysis, highlights, and more to keep you up to date on all the latest in the world of sports. March Madness, NBA, MLB, and so much more. Not to mention great news, entertainment, gaming, travel, and cooking shows as well. Check out Fire TV channels on Fire TV and Alexa devices. If you haven't checked out Fire TV channels, you should. Trust me on this. To learn more, visit www.amazon.com/Fire TV. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I am your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and the Giants not a good outing tonight as they fall 13-4 to the San Diego Padres. I'm just taking a peek here at these comments, and yeah, I agree with you guys. The Giants need a real backup shortstop. I mean, I don't think that you can have that's like one of the most key positions that you need. Like, you can't have your number one infielder not have a backup. Like, that's the position that's gonna field the most ground balls, obviously, in the infield. And you need to have a lockdown shortstop. You can't have a guy who's questionable on defense playing short. That's why Marco Luciano's not up here yet, frankly. And the pass ball, I see that comment there about that pass ball on Pat Bailey. That was so weird, man. I forgot about that. That ball came in on him and he just whiffed, man. It was a strike. And it was a pass ball. It hit Pat Bailey's glove, glanced off of it, and hit his mask. He had no idea where the ball bounced off to, and he jumps up looking around. He looks, ball hits his mask and spurts off to the right, and Pat Bailey jumps up, immediately looked left. He had no idea where that ball went. And that's something that's so weird from a guy who is so sure-handed behind the dish, is one of the best defensive catchers in baseball. You hear about the pop time last year, all these sorts of things. He just loves gunning guys out on the base paths and is just a backstop back there, like just rock solid. Like, that's so surprising to see. Like, I don't know how many times you will see that in Pat Bailey's career. Not the best outing. A lot of weird stuff today for the Giants. The Wilmer Flores fall, the Pat Bailey pass ball, that cheapy wall scraper home run. It felt like everything just fell the Padres' way today. Nothing went right for the Giants. And as the great Marty Laurie says, that's baseball. And you're just going to kind of have to live with it. So weird game today, but there was some silver linings. And Landon Roop has been fun to watch, man. Like, I am really excited about this kid. I think he's going to be a solid starter for this team going forward. And Landon had a nice outing tonight, 1-2-3 inning, struck out Manny Ramirez. And he's a really fun story, man. He's a 25-year-old right-hander, never threw a pitch above Double-A until this season, was stuck down there in Richmond. And he even said that going into this spring training, he didn't really ever think that making the major league roster was a possibility. He thought that he was going to either start down in Double-A or Triple-A. And if you guys want to read up more on this, Evan Wiebeck of the San Jose Mercury has a great story out there on this one. And Roop said that he, didn't expect to make a major league roster or to even have the chance to make it at all. But if you guys saw what he did in spring, posting a 2.25 ERA and striking out 13 batters in 4 appearances, there wasn't really a way that Bob Melvin could keep him off of this roster when you combine that with just the electric, like 94, 95 mile an hour sinker that he has, paired with like this nasty curveball that just falls off the table, man, with a ton of movement, and that it drops down to like 77, 78. I mean, we're talking about almost a 20 mile an hour difference between these two pitches. And he does have a slider and a four seamer he'll mix in when he's starting. But as a reliever, you don't really need a whole arsenal. And these two pitches he has been living on and is making his money, his bread and butter with those two pitches in the big leagues. And if he can even add one more pitch, like if he can get that slider to start working, oh man, watch out for this guy. If he can add a third pitch that can just is even like, he's going to throw 10% of the time, that is going to change everything for this guy on the hill, and is going to give him just another weapon to confuse batters with. And he's already leaving guys guessing up there, as you're seeing Manny Machado tonight. Notice I didn't accidentally say Manny Ramirez there. They're kind of the same guy, Manny Ramirez and Manny Machado, personality wise, demeanor wise, really great players on the field, but just seem very lackadaisical. I end up mixing up their names all the time. Like I know who each guy is, but I'll say Manny Ramirez when I mean Manny Machado, and I'll say Manny Machado when I mean Manny Ramirez. Sometimes they're just the same guy in my brain. They're the same guy. But we're talking about Roop, and today he struck out Machado, and he's had some nice outings already so far this season, and I expect that to continue for him. And the Giants still hope that he can become a starter. Like that is still his track for the Giants, is they want this guy to be a starting pitcher, to work on those secondary pitches and be able to live, go longer, pitch deeper, and stick around in some of these games. He's excellent out there on the hill. He looks so comfortable. He has a major league body. Like he looks like a major league ball player. I like this. And we're going to see so many more guys like him coming up. And it is so positive that he has stuck the way that he has, because this isn't even a guy that we've talked about as one of the better prospects pitching wise. Like, yeah, he's in the conversation, but we all have all these other guys ranked ahead of him, like Carson Whisenhunt. How electric is Carson Whisenhunt gonna be if this is what we're getting from a guy who's the Giants don't think is gonna be as good as Whisenhunt? I mean, you got Mason Black, who is also in the mix. You got all these guys who are going to come up this year and have an impact. You have a bunch of guys who have already been on the, came up last year and are going to take another step forward this year. I'm talking Kyle Harrison, Keaton Wynn, Tristan Beck, when he comes back from that very scary arm injury that he had in preseason. I mean, I don't know how you have an aneurysm in your arm. I've never heard of someone having an aneurysm in a limb until I heard of this injury. It just sounds terrifying to me. On the 60 DL, Tristan Beck is, and I really like Beck. I think he's got some great stuff. And if any one of these guys can really stick with this team when they come back, I mean, they're going to have a very good problem of having a big old logjam at the starting pitcher position. The exact opposite issue that they had last year in the middle of the season, which was we have two pitchers, Logan Webb and Alex Cobb, and then who knows? And you're just going to have bullpen arm after bullpen arm after bullpen arm. Today kind of felt like one of those bullpen games, to be honest, a little bit. But this isn't going to be the norm for this year's Giants. I think we all know that. Bob Melvin does not run his squads that way. He wants a starting pitcher. He wants a 5-pitcher rotation. He wants more or less the same lineup every day, unless it needs changes, unless guys need rest. He's not sitting there playing matchups. He wants his 1, 2, 3 hitters, or 1 through 4 locked in. That's what he wants. And I wanted to dive in a little bit today, but we're running out of time on kind of looking back at this first series and seeing where the 3 Giants big addition offseason additions, position player wise, where they all stand. And I'll tell you what, since we don't have a lot of time right now to break it all down, they all look pretty good. Soler, the stats don't reflect the swing quite yet, but I like what I'm seeing from all of these guys at the dish. Jung-Hoo Lee is drawing walks like a crazy person up there. I feel like he's on base almost every single time that he gets on. I love the addition of Jung-Hoo Lee. He is going to be a awesome. Maybe my favorite outfielder that they have had since Barry Bonds. I mean, like, he is so fun to watch out there. He is running all over the place. I mean, I can't wait till they build him up on steals and stuff like that. He is so fun to watch, man. And just the vibes coming off of him. It's just if you follow him on social media and listen to his interviews, a lot of it's through a translator, but he's really funny. And like, he's just a good vibe guy, man. Like I really like him. I think if I'm going to go out and buy myself a Giants jersey this year from one of these new additions, that's probably the leading candidate right there is Jung-Hoo Lee's jersey. I like his look in the uni. He's fun. And, like I said, Solaire's swing, it looks good. The numbers aren't quite reflecting that yet, but he is hitting the ball pretty hard. And obviously Matt Chapman, I mean, what do we got to say about him? The multi-home run game yesterday with 5 RBIs. He's doing what he's doing today. He picked up another RBI as well. It's been a fun game so far, but a fun season so far through these first 4 games. I do expect the Giants to get back to their winning ways in Los Angeles, and we'll see if they can take 2 of these 3 games from the Dodgers. If you can go 500 in 4-game series and win 3-game series, it's a pretty good recipe for success for your baseball team to end up in the postseason at the end of the year. So I still like where the Giants sit. I'm very encouraged by this first series against the San Diego Padres, and I am excited to see them take on the Los Angeles Dodgers tomorrow night, 7 p.m. in Dodger Stadium. I hate the Dodgers. I don't know what else there is to say other than I hate the Dodgers. And that's about all the time that we have for you today on this one. We'll come to you live tomorrow night after what should be a very lively Locked On Giants postcast. Because I mean, when Giants Dodgers play, man, I get revving high. I get anxious. I get angry sometimes. I get a lot of emotion, man, when I see those Smurf uniforms. God, I hope they don't wear those all blue City Connects. I hate those and those stupid blue pants. Anyways, we'll have more Dodger slander and more Giants talk coming your way right after that game tomorrow night. Again, 7 p.m. first pitch. Thanks for joining us on this one. This has been the Locked On Giants postcast, and I am your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and we will see you next time. Peace.